Good evening and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and here's some of the stories we're looking at tonight. Burglaries are on the rise on St. Croix. The governor talks about the AFT, and your kids are having a ball at Powell. These stories and more are up next on News Channel 8. In our top story tonight, Governor John DeYoung has wrapped up his trip to Washington, D.C., and one of the topics discussed is on federal law enforcement. News Channel 8's Lee Carl files this report.
The governor says progress was made toward return of the ATF to the islands. He's been in the nation's capital all week, meeting with federal officials, and this time around, he was hoping the return of agents from the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives to the Virgin Islands. The ATF, of course, helps to regulate guns and battle violent crime, pulled all 4 of its agents, as you recall, out of the territory last fall over a dispute concerning powers and legal protections afforded federal agents while on assignment here in the territory. So the governor went to the idea of talk to the acting director 2 weeks ago to address the issue of the ATF officers within the territory, and also to reinforce the importance of their partnership to us as we continue to address the issues of law enforcement, and particularly their specialty having to do with the weapons and assault weapons in our community. The meeting went very well today with Mr. Melson, and at the meeting with me was the Attorney General. And just by chance, the acting U.S. attorney, Mr. Attorney Paul Murphy, happened to be in D.C., and we called him over to the office and we sat down and had a very frank discussion of the issues. But most importantly, I think what came out of our meeting is a desire and a willingness of ATF to come back to the territory, to be actively involved and engaged with our local officers to address the concerns that we all have. We had a chance to have a discussion on the peace officer status and the situation that revolves around some proposed legislation. It is something that the Attorney General had noticed when he was doing his due diligence on the code. So this is an issue that we brought up, an issue that we're going to resolve, and it's clearly there's clearly a desire on the part of the acting director to make sure that ATF is back in the territory and assisting us. So I'm very confident that this issue will be resolved very shortly, and with the assistance of Attorney Murphy and all our federal partners, we can feel very secure that the issues of law enforcement, and most importantly safety to our community, is a high priority for the police department, all law enforcement agencies, and particularly to everyone on the police force. In St. Thomas, Lee Carl for News Channel 8.
And in other news tonight, burglaries are definitely on the rise in our territory. Thieves even broke into the Vitima office. And now a condo on La Grande Princess has been hit 4 times in one night. News Channel 8's Wes Small has the story.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. Sadly to report, burglaries are on the rise in our territory, and let's just get into it. We are in La Grande Princess, and I am here to the entrance of Coral Princess condos. This place has been targeted over and over again, but here's what happened. We had 4 incidents here at Coral Princess condos, and that happened. They found the results of that break-in on Tuesday morning earlier this week. You're going to watch some file footage now from the back of the condo. The manager here was showing me exactly how these bad guys got in. We believe they came over the seawall into the back of these condos, going through the louvers. I think it's safe to say that your louvers are probably the entry point for a lot of the burglaries that are going on here. But of course, we're going to hear from the professionals, from Melody Rames and Chris Howell, Deputy Police Chief, in just a second. I want to go on to tell you that here's the surprising thing, and perhaps most dangerous about these burglaries, at least at the condo here. Realizing that these burglaries happen between 1:30 and 2:45 in the morning. I have to tell you that these people were home. Yes, they were home at the same time that these bad guys got in. They were all sleeping. These guys are good. They're quiet. They're fast. They came out of one place, divided the credit cards, what they wanted to leave and so forth, out of a woman's purse, moved on and did the same thing to the next condo. Fortunately, none of these people woke up, because if they had confronted these guys, who knows what could have happened after that. Let's take it to Melody.
Police on St. Croix are warning residents of La Grande Princess and the surrounding areas of an increase in break-ins at homes. There may be an individual or a group of individuals who have broken into several homes in the area, said St. Croix Deputy Police Chief Christopher Howell. Over the past week, 5 residential burglaries have been reported in the La Grande Princess area. Howell said, "We are aware of the situation and are taking steps to curtail the criminal activity through proactive policing." Experts say economic and social conditions can be attributed to a spike in criminal activities, and the community needs to be alert. If your area does not have a neighborhood watch, call the Virgin Islands Police Department Crime Prevention Bureau at 773-6393 on St. Croix or 776-1525 on St. Thomas. Deputy Chief Howell said residents should double-check the locks on the windows and the doors on their homes and make sure all accesses are secure, even when someone is at home. Make sure your home has adequate outside lights during the nighttime hours, and, if possible, invest in an alarm system or security cameras. Residents should be aware of suspicious activity, such as unfamiliar vehicles that seem to be circling the area or unfamiliar persons who may be carrying backpacks or bags. If you see any suspicious activities, call police. Make sure you can clearly relay directions to your home to the E911 operators. You should have an inventory of your electronics, jewelry, and other valuables. The inventory should include serial numbers and photos of the items and should not be stored only on your computer. Make an extra copy and store in another location. These safety tips should be employed by all Virgin Islands residents to safeguard their homes and businesses against burglaries.
Thank you very much, Melody Raines, VIPD spokesperson. I'm in La Grande Princess, West Mall, for News Channel 8.
Police have arrested a man on St. Croix who allegedly brandished a weapon last month in Frederiksted. Here's police spokesperson Melody Raines.
Police on St. Croix have arrested 23-year-old Samuel K. Cave, also known as Smurf, and charged him with assault third and possession of a dangerous weapon during the commission of a crime of violence in connection with an incident that happened on June 9th. Cave was arrested before dawn Friday, July 24th, pursuant to a search warrant issued by the Superior Court of the Virgin Islands. Cave is being charged with verbally threatening a male and female victim in the Kmart parking lot in Estate King Carlton. The victims then drove away from the area and Cave followed them in his vehicle. Cave threatened them by pointing a 9mm pistol at them. Cave was positively identified as the person who threatened the victims. He was held without bail and remanded to the Golden Grove Adult Correctional Facility.
Stay with us on News Channel 8. We have more news after the break.